This video covers the functions of KEYper Go, unique to those with the role of an administrator, such as creating and editing users, permissions, and access groups. By tapping the Admin tab at the bottom of the screen, we can see the user list. Tapping on a user's name will bring up an overview of the user details, along with their access group assignment and any currently held assets. Tap the Access Groups tab to determine which group of assets a user is allowed to check out by simply tapping to enable or disable a group. We'll cover how to configure access groups in just a minute. Tap the Held Assets tab to see which items the user currently has checked out. We can perform all the same administrator functions as we would in the asset list, such as editing, sharing, or transferring the item. Administrators can always transfer items to themselves or between other users, even for those that do not have permissions to transfer assets on their own. This helps facilitate fast transactions as needed when away from the system. By tapping the three dots in the upper right corner, we can share or edit the user details or delete the user entirely, which in turn completely removes that user's access to KEYper Go and any associated key cabinets. When tapping Edit, we can quickly update any of the user's basic information, like their contact details, password, or PIN number. In the user permissions, we can change a user's role to an administrator or adjust their level of access as a user. The issue limit determines how many items the user is allowed to have checked out at any given time. Enabling requires transfer approval means the user will require additional approval before receiving the transfer of an asset from another user. Should a user have too many failed login attempts, KEYper Go will automatically lock their account for security purposes, and locked out will be enabled. Simply tap to unlock the user and restore their access. Under Notification Settings, we can determine how the user will receive notifications, via SMS messages, email, or both. Tap the icon at the top of the screen to save the changes. To create a new user, tap the plus icon at the top of the screen and select Add User. Enter all the details we just covered, including a temporary password. You'll need to provide this password to the user for them to log in and register KEYper Go on their device. Once completed, they can then change it to a password of their choosing. Now tap Save and the user account has been created. Then we just need to choose which assets the user is allowed to check out by tapping the associated access group. To create and configure access groups, we can do so from the Admin screen under the Access Groups tab. Tap the plus sign at the top of the screen and choose Add Access Group. Give the group a name and set the access group type. Most customers will use the standard access group type. Process Step allows you to change the users able to access the assets based on which point it is in within a defined process. See KEYper Go's documentation for more about this feature. The Issue Limit setting enables you to restrict the number of items from the group that can be out of the system at one time, across all users. The Out Duration limit can be used if you want notifications to be sent anytime an asset is not returned within a certain time period, relative to the time of checkout. Tap Save and we're ready to configure the access group. On the Users tab, we can tap to add or remove users from the access group. Then on the Assets tab, we do the same to determine which assets are available to the selected users. The Physical Access tab enables us to determine which systems users in the group can access. For a practical example, you could provide your service staff access to a group of keys, but only when those keys are checked into the key cabinet located in the service department. Lastly, we can determine the exact times that the access group is active, such as regular business hours. This will restrict any access to assets for all users in the group outside of the defined schedule. To quickly make changes to any access groups in the future, we just need to tap on the group in the list and make changes on the appropriate tab. The changes are automatically saved and will take effect immediately, enabling you to make quick adjustments to meet your business needs.